this week I wrapped up Kansas and headed into Missouri. The rest of Kansas was mostly the same as before, but there was this lovely oasis right at the end which offered some great respite from the hot, dry headwinds. I said goodbye to my friends Becky and Ash and hit the road. Also, just as a fair warning, some really sad stuff happened this week, so if you want to see me just bopping along being happy on my bike, maybe wait until next week. And just like that, we're back on the road, headed across Kansas. I just said goodbye to Ash and Becky for now. Would sincerely love to catch up with them later. It'd be very cool to do like a group finish or something of this route. Going for probably about 75 miles today. Don't have any super concrete plans, but there's a spot somewhere out there that has a city park as usual. So yeah, just gonna settle in out here and kind of enjoy the miles as the morning heats up. It's great. A little tailwind to start my day. And a flat tire. Damn it. All right, I found the culprit. Rather obvious glass shard. All right, switched the tires around and inflated everything. Everything looks good. I'm ready to get out of Great Bend for the second time. Well, Kansas, today you've been absolutely lovely so far. There's some good scenery, some good green stuff going on around here. This nice flat shoulder. Yeah, just cruising. Really enjoying riding my bike right now. This is kind of one of those moments where you're like, yeah, this is why I do this. Wrapping up a quick lunch break here, about 26 miles in or so. The wind is kind of a headwind. It's not super strong though, and just really enjoying this shade before I take off and make some more miles east. Just riding along, saw this sign. Bottled water for bikers. Full chest full of bottled water, that's so kind. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot out here for resources, so to get an extra refill on my water is, yeah, that's really lovely. Rolling into my first town of the day, Nickerson. Looks nice enough. Hopefully gonna grab something sugary to drink and probably continue on a bit. I don't feel quite done with my day yet. All right, headed out of Nickerson. Bueller is about 20 miles away. That's my next possible stop for the night. Although I'm kind of tempted to go the 50 to North Newton and really take a chunk out of this state today. It's about 3 o'clock, so that gives me 5 more hours of riding light. And that wouldn't be too much of a stretch. So we'll see. I'm really enjoying these areas that have more vegetation. There's a lot more shade and also some wind cover. I just like more to look at. These roads are getting kind of interesting out here. All right, made it to Bueller. It's about 4:40 or so. Just kind of checking the place out. Maybe gonna grab some sugar and some water and stuff here. And then see if we want to continue on or see if we want to stay in the park tonight. It's a nice area though, really like it. Well, this park in Bueller comes with a water feature and electricity and bathrooms. I think it'll do. Probably gonna stay here tonight. Don't really feel like doing that extra 30. Morning from Buhler, Kansas. This place is lovely. Went for a walk around it yesterday. The neighborhoods are really beautiful. The houses are super cute. Today's plan is to cycle east through Kansas. Surprise. There's about 2 turns on my route today, and it's going to be about 70 miles. Basically going to go into a town called Newton, hopefully do my shopping stuff there, and then onto a small town about 35 miles to the east of there. I think it's going to be kind of like that place back in Muddy Gap. I think that was Montana or Wyoming or something like that, where it's really just a turn in the road and people are okay with you throwing down your tent because no one's really there. So that's what I'm planning for today. Winds, according to the forecast, look kind of bad. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, going to pack up and roll on out of here. Such a nice ride so far this morning. So crisp. It's 9:30. Wish I had something a little bit more interesting to say, but the headwind has shown up. And, we're headed east on this nice smooth road. Rolling through Newton, got excited because I saw a coffee shop that looked nice and then remembered it's a holiday. Found some shade for a quick snack break about 19 miles out of Cassidy, which is where I'm planning to camp for the night. This is getting real tedious. Headwind's pretty strong. Just feels like I'm always biking uphill. So I'm gonna eat a snack and put my headphones in and we'll just do the last 19 and call it a day. Made it to Cassidy. Sounds silly to say Cassidy, but that's how it's spelled, so I'm gonna go with that. But that last bit of the ride was really, really brutal. Just into the wind the whole way. Wasn't having any fun to speak of. So that concludes part 1 of my 3-day get the heck out of Kansas plan. Just got to ride 70 miles tomorrow and the next day, and we'll be in Missouri. Good morning. It's about 5:15. Got woken up pretty early today by a train coming through town. They come through like every 20 minutes, so I guess I got woken up early about, 30 times last night. And then also by some sort of animal, sniffing me close enough that I could feel their snout basically on my face through the tent, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, making some coffee and some breakfast using well water that I found that I've boiled already actually to kind of let it settle and sediment and everything went to the bottom. So now I've got some clear water to work with. I've also boiled some for the ride today, so should be good there. But yeah, just trying to get out of here basically as the sun comes up and make as many miles as I can before the wind kicks in. So yeah, today is day 2 of Escape Kansas. Inevitably these Kansas days turn into a hot afternoon with a headwind, but these mornings are quite nice. It's brisk out here. Got the sun off to my left. Headed south for a little bit. Take that left-hand turn and head east here soon enough. Oh, good morning, headwind. Up early today. So this is something that I've seen once before in Kansas. Wasn't gonna bring it up because I don't want to be whinging about roads all the time, but come on. You made this beautiful, wide, flat road and then filled the entire shoulder with a rumble strip. Forces me quite often to ride out into the road. Gives me no option to ride comfortably. Right now I'm just barely balancing between the edge and the rumble strip. Well, it would appear that this front gator skin's time with us has come to an end. I think I got a pinch flat on one of those rumble strips actually. Just love them. But yeah, this thing's it's absolutely shot. So I'm gonna throw my spare on there. This one becomes my last resort spare if something explodes. But yeah, not a big deal. Swap it out right into coffee. I think I'm about 10 miles out. Unfortunately, the rumble strip is gone because I'm in a new county, so happy about that. Just rolling down Main Street in Eureka. Honestly, it's a bit reassuring that there's stuff going on. Just because I was rolling through everywhere yesterday on Labor Day, it felt like basically all the downtowns were completely shut. So it feels better to know that stuff is for sale and people are making food. Well, Eureka turned out to be a little bit more of a make your own coffee sort of town. I'm happy with that. It's been a nice meditative afternoon activity. Remember when this was a chill bike tour? I still think it is by most people's standards, honestly, for crossing the Great Plains. I think I'm having a pretty chill time. But I'm kind of reminded to take a step back and really just, I don't know, enjoy the fact that I'm here. You know, I feel a little bit pressed for time for some reason. I'm not. Practically speaking, I'm completely not pressed for time at all. But I think the absence of resources over the last couple stops and the kind of mediocre sleep, it's made things a little less chill than I'd like it to be. So I'm taking this afternoon to just sit and drink coffee. I only have 25 more miles on the day, and I'm gonna go camp by what looks like a lake on the map anyway. And yeah, we're just gonna chill out a little bit. No rush. Also to my platonic, non-romantic roommate, landlord lady, I stole one of your sponges. This is how it's doing so far, so I'd give that an A+ for living this long with me. Just riding out of Eureka, feeling a lot better. Full of calories, drank some coffee, talked to some friends. Excited to put in this 25 miles. Got to hear the test of their tornado warning system. Man, those things are loud. I assume it's a test given that it's perfectly clear weather and also 1 p.m. exactly, so no one's panicking. Yeah, making my way out of town. Well, this is pretty exciting. I haven't seen a lake in weeks, it feels like. This is so cool. This campground's right down on this lake, and I think it's 100% empty. But this means that I get the choice of wherever I want to be. And gosh, I'm gonna get to take a dip in the lake. That is gonna be incredibly refreshing. I'd say day 2 of my plan to get the heck out of Kansas has been a smashing success. Kansas has really shown up with some stuff that, I don't know, seems like it's gonna make me miss it a little bit. Wrapping up final preparations to get out of here. This is a hard place to leave. Toronto Lake. It's so beautiful, and it's 10 o'clock. Still not on the road. Yeah, but today we're just going to Girard. Looking forward to the ride. It looks like it's a little bit less straight east and a little bit more up and down, left and right. So, yeah, feeling good about getting out of here a little bit late, and we'll hit the road soon enough. All right, 20 more on the day to this church. I actually turned off my nav device, put it away, and also same with my phone. You know, it can be easy at the end of these longer feeling days to really start watching the clock. But I just kind of want to enjoy this last 20-ish miles of this kind of Kansas riding. Something's really come over me in the last, I don't know, 10 miles. I've got 15 more to go, and I'm just going for it. Maybe it's the thought of a fully stocked kitchen. You know, I don't want to go in there and be peckish. I want to go in there and achieve full glory. Cruising through this cute little community of Walnut. I think the church is only 5-ish miles from here, so feeling good about that. Well, I see a church-like structure off in the distance. Maybe that's where we're headed. All right, made it to Hepler, Kansas. Yeah, this is day 3 of my kind of 3-day get out of Kansas plan. No offense to Kansas, but yeah, I'm ready to get into Missouri and see what that's about. Huge thanks to the people here at Hepler Emmanuel Lutheran Church for letting me crash here tonight. Yesterday I received some bad news. A family member of mine has died. It certainly changes things, being out here. I'm struggling with how much to share about this. It feels very, very personal to talk about something like this in such a public place, but this also is obviously a part of this trip, you know, part of this journey. And I think looking back on this, I'd hate to rewatch it and be like, you sociopath, that really important thing happened and you just acted like it didn't, you know. But there's a lot of grieving to be done for this person. They really had a huge impact on me growing up, and you know, I think in a lot of ways are responsible for me being the way I am and doing the things I do, and I'm really gonna miss them. You know, I got some stuff to think about clearly. And I'm just kind of looking forward to getting into Pittsburgh, making some calls, and figuring out what I'm going to do next. I'm not sure, honestly. Well, I'm here at the most Midwestern place I could think of, Casey's in Girard. Just finished that 8th map of the trail. I don't know when the memorial service is going to be. I got to talk to some people about that, but I certainly can swing a few days on this trip to fly back and at least be there for that. Seems like the least I could do. But figured this was a good time to start a new addiction, so I'm gonna try this Casey's breakfast sandwich stuff. slippery slope, my fragile emotional state. All right, onward. All right, made it to Pittsburgh. I'm gonna find some coffee and the bike shop. There's a bug in my coffee. Well, we're back to this kind of familiar situation. I've been feeling a little off here in Pittsburgh. But yeah, today's been a little weird, I think, for kind of obvious reasons. But gonna get 30 miles in. It's hot. That's part of it too. It's almost 90 degrees. There's obviously still a lot on my mind, but yeah, gonna drink my afternoon coffee, and I'm loaded up on water and sugar and everything, and we're just gonna do this 30 miles and cross the border over into Missouri and get that adventure started. So yeah. Well, that's it for Kansas. Excited to see what Missouri's got on offer. All right, rolling into Golden City. This is where we're staying for the night. Riding was pretty good today. Honestly, that last 35 felt pretty nice. It was exciting to mix it up with some rolling hills, and the weather was good. Yeah, feeling good. Got to find the park and take a shower. All right, good evening from Golden City Park. You know, kind of on the topic of the day of loss and grief and not being where you'd like to be when sad things happen, I'm feeling some self-consciousness about sharing this, and I guess sharing this experience. And I'm a little concerned that if I just go back to like happy, laid back, relaxed bike touring guy, it'll be perceived as though I don't actually care that somebody that I care about is no longer with us. But I think what that person would actually want is for me to really get the most out of the rest of this trip. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Obviously, I will be processing this probably for a long time. There's grief to be processed for sure. But, you know, I'm just going to do my best to get back on the bike tomorrow and just like really, you know, get my money's worth out of this little journey I'm on, and just be in the present moment as much as possible, a little bit, to honor that person who's passed away. I don't, you know, I think if I died and somebody else was out doing something, I wouldn't, you know, if I had an opinion at that point, I don't think I would, I'd want them to stop or change what they're doing or not enjoy it on my behalf. So, yeah, that's kind of my attitude going forward. I'm gonna, wake up in the morning and just try to be in this journey as much as possible. All right, good morning from Golden City, Missouri. I'm in Missouri now. Woke up this morning and was like, I think I'm going to take a rest day. Just not really feeling fully charged. My electronics are mostly dead. My clothes stink. And I just kind of feel like hanging out and eating pie. But I also think there's a better opportunity about 35 miles down the road for this hostel to actually be indoors and have a slightly better place to recharge. So today's going to be a really short day. I've met some travelers here who are going on a different route, but also going through the U.S., and that's been really fun so far. So we're just going to go down to this really well-known pie shop called Cookies, and make a slow morning of it before taking off down the road towards our next stop about 35 miles out. Here with Nico and Gregory.
What's up?
Riding to San Francisco from
Montreal.
Montreal.
Started 4 weeks ago.
Yes, and we finally come to this important moment in all of our lives. We're in Cookie's Diner here in Golden City, and we're about to eat our pie, which they're really well known for. And I'm going to go for this Reese's pie. It looks like it's just mostly peanut butter and chocolate. So,
it looks like a solid half a jar of peanut butter on this much of crust.
Well, wish me luck.
Looking forward to watching you eat it for sure.
Aren't we all? Pie review.
Yeah, I definitely had the caloric surplus for today, but awesome. Really, I can only recommend it. Good stuff. Take the pecan pie with chocolate.
All right, lovely. That one went really, really well. How about for you, sir?
It was delicious. Perfect.
All right, we're sending these guys back off to the west. I'm gonna head to the east, and we'll check in on each other on the internet. All right, ride safe. It's about 11:30, and my plan today was to go real short, do like 35 miles, take it easy. But unfortunately, the town that I was planning on going to, I just called and texted them, and it sounds like they don't let people stay there anymore. So now I'm looking at like maybe as big as a mandatory like 66-mile day with lots of hills. So I'm just gonna get started, do something to work out. I don't know. Whoa, why is the sun on that side of his face, you might be asking yourself right now? Well, I'm going back. That is because my shoe bag is somewhere between here and where I left. I think I found them. Oh yeah. Whew. That is great. That would have sucked so much to have to find shoes or just live in my cycling shoes. I'm so happy to have found these. I also learned that riding west is incredibly fun right now. All right, double strapped this time, secure. Let's try that again. You know, get back to me in a week, but right now I'd so much rather see hills like this than some flat plain where I'm just getting blown off the road. Well, all things told, I'd say today's going a little bit better than I thought it would. The miles are going by pretty quick. I think we're already at like mile 35 or 36, and it's 2:30. So yeah, the ideal revised plan for today would be that I get in another 50 something and then I end up at a hotel and I stay there for 2 days and kind of get my editing day and my rest day and recuperate really to make the best out of the rest of Missouri. Oh man, crap. I rolled the dice on this road. This is where the trail goes, but it's looking pretty close. Well, bridge construction's happening and it's full of construction workers, so I think the question about how closed this road is pretty conclusively answered. So yeah, gonna find a way around it. Called that hotel I'm trying to hit 45 miles down the road, and it sounds like they don't have any vacancy tonight or tomorrow. So now I'm just trying to get to the city park in the same place. So yeah, man, things are not working out well. I'm not having a lot of fun, but you know, that's also kind of the thing with doing adventurous stuff, right? This is just part of the deal, and work through it and get a break before too long. All right, looks like we got around it. Not too big a deal. Just climbing the next hill. All right, with the sun setting behind me, we're going into the elusive night session. Don't do that too often. I think I've got about 10 miles left, so got my lights on, should be no big deal. Feeling good about it. Good evening from a public park in Marshfield, Missouri. Today was really interesting how it kind of cascaded into this. I thought I was going to do 35 and take practically a rest day. And then that stay fell through. And there was just nobody in Ash Grove who was interested in letting me stay there overnight, interestingly. And then further out, there were these other spots, but all the phone numbers associated with them seemed to be disconnected. So, ended up here. So today was a 92-mile day. In Missouri, that's pretty significant because the hills, the elevation are real. I think I did about 5,000, 6,000 feet of climbing today. Now, if you're interested in doing this sort of thing and you're like, dear God, I'm going to have to be able to ride a century with a bunch of crazy hills to be able to stay in a safe place, that's not the case. There were a lot of ways I could have solved this problem that were certainly not riding that far. Could have called around way more, could have been more persistent. Additionally, in this sort of situation, I'd be totally fine just pitching a tent on the side of the road once the sun went down. Additionally, just like knock on some doors. People are really friendly. If you go up to a nice looking house and say, hey, is it okay if I pitch my tent on your lawn? Like, most of the time people are happy to have you. So don't let this sort of depiction of this situation scare you. I think I just tend to like to use my legs to get out of jams. So, it was a really nice ride though. The body felt phenomenal, especially when it started getting cool. And the evening riding was actually really nice. I'll also say that I really like the drivers out here. I was a little bit concerned based on some of the stuff that I'd read, just about the combination of the curviness and the hilliness and the traffic and all that. And people wait for you. Like if it's a situation where it warrants them just like hanging out behind you for a while, going real slow, then they'll do it. No one seems frustrated by it. So yeah, some of my fears about how Missouri was going to be, I think, are kind of relieved. And I'm really happy to be here. It's a beautiful place, and the riding so far has been really, really nice. Just windy, hilly country roads, which is exactly the sort of thing that I like. So I'm going to find a spot to pitch a tent in this park and hopefully get a good night's sleep. And then I've booked a hotel for tomorrow night in this city. So hopefully I'll be able to get this thing edited and posted. It's a bit of a long episode. It's got a lot of stuff in it. And, I hope by now you've watched it and enjoyed it. But I've got some self-consciousness about how to portray some of the really hard things that happened this week. It'll be a bit of a tough edit, I think, to go back through that stuff and, continue to feel some feelings about, loss and grief and how this trip relates to those things. So, thanks so much for watching this episode. I'm looking forward to the next, I think, probably 2 or 3 episodes left in this trip. It's a whole new adventure, this last 4 states. Thanks for coming along.